So, good afternoon, all. It would have been lovely if I could have seen one or two faces, some faces. So, it's only Srila and I, and this presentation is for all of you. Nevertheless, I understand that it's not easy for most to switch on their camera, and some do not want. And we're talking about body image. And one of the reasons why we don't like switching on the camera is because we don't like to be seen. We put a nice profile picture, and that is what it is. Okay, so my name is Manju. I'm a practicing psychotherapist. I run an organization called Evangelist. I write under the name of Our Tales. So I work in the space of emotional, mental, and social well-being. I have my private practice. Apart from that, I do a lot of work with students, young adults, all age groups, women. So I work with a lot of I do a lot of empowerment programs, run a lot of support groups, and I'm very passionate about the work that I do. So that's about who I am. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask me. Okay, so that's about me. So we will get started about body image. Today we're talking about body image. So what comes to your mind when I say body image? Anybody, you can put it in the chat window, or any thoughts. Srila, you can answer that as well.
Body image would probably be something how our body looks like, the image of the body, the outer image of the body that is there, I guess.
Exactly that. Okay, it's we can say it's a perception of our self-image, how we feel about body looks like. Okay, now I at the moment, when we were having conversation and you asked me what you can do, and when you gave me the topic is body image, I'm like, oh, let me pick this up. I'm the poster girl for body image because for a good part of my life, I have struggled with body image. So while growing up, I used to be this girl. After I hit my puberty, I caught up in height very fast, and I used to be the tallest girl in the class. And I felt so awkward about it because most of my friends weren't my height. I was skinny, and people would call me like I look like a Somalian kid. It was so difficult for me while growing up to even look at myself in the mirror because I felt so uncomfortable with who I saw. For a good part of my life, I have struggled with body image simply because I believed or I internalized that bodies need to look a certain way. You need to look a certain way for you to be accepted and validated in the society. So what is body image? Body image is nothing but it's a perception that a person has of their physical self and the thoughts and feelings that result from that perception that we all have. So these feelings about our body, they can be either positive, negative, or both, and they are primarily influenced by individuals and environmental factors. So when you say individuals, it is influenced mostly by people around us, the ecosystem, our friends, our peers, our family, our neighbors, the school, the people we move around with, our life experiences, what we see, who we interact with, the media, all of this plays influences, the body image. Now, like I was telling, I'm the poster girl of for body image. So while growing up, there was nobody there for me to talk about who would tell me, Manju, it's so okay to be how you looked. And I constantly would shy away from any public gatherings, or where I had to, if somebody asked me a question in the class of my teacher and I hated, I would like to kind of sneak. I had a hunch because I was very tall. People called me a coconut tree, and I didn't like, so I would walk like this, so that I didn't look tall. So there was so much of struggle, and that kind of that kind of influenced every aspect. It kind of spilled over in everything that I did. Be it I didn't participate in sports while I really liked, people told me you have great height, you could, participate in sports, but how can I? Because I don't feel good within my own body. I didn't feel I was good enough. I always had this feeling that I'm not as good as others. Okay. And because of which I never participated in anything. Nobody pretty much knew I existed in the class. My voice can be heard only in groups where my friends are there, and when there's no attention there. So it was a great struggle growing up that way. And then I grew up, to graduate. Even in graduation, like, I was very skinny, and I studied in a co-ed education. So that was the first time I was like, throughout my education I studied in girls. So till my 12th grade it was all girls. So pretty much I managed, like, somehow. After that, in my graduation, when I moved on and when I had to interact with boys, it was very, very difficult. Though by maybe most of my friends, are not even aware, or they didn't notice, because I had very good set of friends. So they maybe assumed that everything was okay, but internally there was this constant struggle that I am not as good as others. So my self-esteem, my self-worth was very low. And then so happened in life, as I progressed in life, I got married, and I got married to somebody who was extremely good looking. He was way good looking, and his skin color was much. I have a brown skin and he has a lighter skin. And then everybody would, I mean, noticeably we were different. So somehow, like how the society is, everybody made sure they pointed out that, there you go. Yeah, Manju, you are beautiful. You are brown, but you're beautiful. So there is always a but that I heard, and that comparison, I I lived with that comparison for very long. Not even for a moment did my partner view me in that light. I got enough validation from my friends, from my family. Nobody excluded me because of the way I looked. It was always me. It was my own internalized beliefs. It's the way I looked at myself. Some of the comments that we people made, the meanings that I attached to those comments made me feel very inferior. So I struggled through for a good period of my life. Then the next interesting phase was I got pregnant. And then people would say I would never put on weight because I always looked malnourished. And then came that part of my life when I was pregnant. I gave birth to two beautiful children. And then came another part, the body shaming, the fat. I was plump. And then started another journey of being obsessed with the way I looked, in terms of, because now I was I was white. Okay. And that, again, fat shaming started, and I would not interact with people. My husband is a marathoner, so I would feel very withdrawn to participate with his friends and all of that, because I wasn't as fit as most of the people around. So I attached shame again to it. Okay. So this has been my journey, and my journey's changed, or the whole thing. Now I'm very comfortable in my body and who I am today, but until I got to that point, and that took a long time, for me to reach that place. Today, I feel empowered being who I am, but that journey hasn't been easy. So when we are talking about body image, the reason why I spoke about it is because research and statistics states that almost everyone, at least once in their lifetime, go through body shaming or body image struggle. Okay, so research states that almost 73% of women struggle with body image issues. But I know I've worked with a lot of adolescent boys. I've worked with men who equally struggle with body image issues. And also the fact that research also states that more than 50% overall across across the globe experience body image, which means every two, 1 out of 2 people experience body image issues. Now let's understand this a little more in detail, how and why we attach the meanings, and how do we arrive at this whole thing of what is beauty, and how do we perceive beauty. So today I understand beauty is something that is very internalized. It's a feeling, and when you feel beautiful, you look beautiful, you project yourself as beautiful. But otherwise, beauty is something, how does young while growing up, most people, most the adolescents, how they struggle with the idea of beauty, and where do they get this whole idea or perception of beauty. I'll go back to my slide. So, what is body image? It relates to what a person believes about their appearance, how they feel about their body, their height, their weight, their shape, their skin type, their skin color, and how body image is also about how one feels in their body, the kind how they sense and control their body as they move and interact with others. The social interaction always is dependent on how they feel in their body. So body image, so what are the factors that affect body image? Let's look at some of the factors. So some the standards set by society and the culture that surrounds us is one of the factor that influences or affects our body image. Comments from our family members, comments from friends, comments about other, people, about others' bodies, about your own bodies. All of these, very casually in our culture, I've heard people talk about lambu, patlu, kalya, moti, fatso. We give this various names. We call people, and pyar se, with love. Okay, we call people. All this is with love. We don't mean to attach shame, but and when our loved ones are calling that, we don't even stop them and say, hey, I don't feel comfortable. Okay, only the person who's going through understands what it means to be there. Okay, many a times we just allow it. We think it's okay, pyar se bula rahe, and somebody's, with so much of love they're saying, so it's fine, and this is my loved one, it's my dad, it's my mom. But then later on, you kind of, that becomes your self image. Without even your knowledge, you kind of attach meaning to it, and that's when the struggle begins. So now that we are talking about, I would encourage, or I would invite people to see if they call their loved ones, if by any labels, like, which attaches anything to do with body image, like patlu, motu, or whatever it is. Let's be mindful. Let's understand how the person feels. It's okay to converse. If you've done it because you're not aware, it's fine. You didn't know how the person feels. But today, since we are talking, if you're listening to me, please go back and check with your loved one, check with your friends if they are comfortable, and if they're not, stop right away. Okay, so these comments kind of, influence, our body image largely. And also this self-esteem, our self-esteem. What is self-esteem? Self-esteem is nothing but self-worth. The worth we attach to ourselves is viewed through our bodies. We evaluate, mostly our value and our worth is attached to the way we look. And also another factor that affects body image is when there is any history of abuse, be it physical abuse, emotional abuse, or sexual abuse, teasing, bullying, life changes, any physical changes that may result, that may be the result of puberty, medical problems, surgery, or any other injuries due to which there are some changes in your body, also affects your body image. Now, I would like to stop here and talk a bit about abuse. Okay, so I work with many clients who've gone through sexual abuse, and when you've gone through sexual abuse, I'm talking specifically about sexual abuse because that is something that we do not talk often about. Okay, so many people who have gone through sexual abuse develop a hatred towards their own bodies. They can't talk about it. They can't develop good adult relationship when they marry. Then when it becomes very difficult because they start feeling that what happened to me is because of my body, the way my body is, the way I looked. So that is the meanings they attach, and they kind of reject themselves and their bodies. And they grow up and they make it is very difficult for them to make meaningful relationships with their body and with other people as well. So there are so many struggles that people go through because of abuse. Many times people this could lead to suicidal thoughts, but they understand that is not right, but they don't like their body so much that I've seen a lot of self-harm. They harm themselves, they cut themselves in places that is not visible, and that is the way they deal with pain. That is the way they deal with their, they don't like their body image and they want to harm their body, and they kind of cut themselves in places that is not visible. And that's how they cope with their body image issues. At any point in time, if you have any questions or you want to share something or ask me something, feel free to stop and ask. Okay, so images of idealized bodies versus normal bodies is another factor that affects body image. Any questions this far? Have you received any questions? Anything that you'd
No,
like?
not as yet.
Okay,
In case anyone has any, I put up the form, the
okay,
link. So if you have any
okay.
questions, guys, please do ask. You can unmute yourself also and ask, as well as if you wish to put it up on the form, you can put it up and I will ask on your behalf.
Okay, now how do we deal with body image? Now we understood what is body image. So how do we deal with body image is by developing body positivity or positive body image. Okay, so I told you the perception can be positive or negative. So let's talk about positive body image, and we will also talk about negative body image. Like I was talking about what I experienced was negative body image. Okay, so what is positive body image is when you feel comfortable in your own body, when you understand that every body is different, and it's okay to be who you are. You don't have to look a certain way, or you don't have to, the feeling comes out of the meanings you attach. So if you're not feeling good in your body, it means that you've attached shame or negativity to your body image. Okay, so everyone is unique and everyone is needed in this world in their element. The reason why we're born certain way, we look certain way, everything is beyond us, so we don't get to decide that. That is purely genetics. So say for me, when I'm brown skinned and my parents were of the thing, they are of the skin color. I mean, they're of the brown skin as well. So there is no way that I could have looked any different. But the interesting thing was, during while I was growing up, I always tried to combat this, fight this with, the various beauty products that we have. During my time, it was the Fair and Lovely, my go-to companion. I I feel so silly talking about it, but that's what every, in every television ad they would show, like, you can apply that and look better, and you can look 2 shades, 3 shades lighter and all that. And I maybe for over 10 years I've used Fair and Lovely so that I can look a few shades lighter because I didn't feel comfortable in my skin color. Okay, and interestingly, I would like to ask you, or if someone knows, what is the kind of contribution that this skin whitening industry has in India? What is the kind of profit they make? Any guesses? You muted,
Sorry,
Sheila.
quite huge for sure, because
Oh,
many of us have used it.
so I googled this. I didn't know exactly what it was. So it's about 50 million US dollars. That is the worth of the skin whitening industry in India alone. Okay, now can you guess what is it globally?
I is triple the
Eight
time.
$8 billion globally. Okay, so that kind of tells us that what is how much it impacts our body image and how much we all are worrying about our the way we look, the way we are perceived. So earlier it was only about women, now we see fair and lovely for men as well. So everybody wants to look good, everybody wants to be slim, everybody wants to be, and why we do it? So that we are accepted. Okay, so positive, what is positive body image is it's acceptance of your body, where you understand that healthy and attractive bodies come in various shapes, sizes, lengths, and skin types, and where you understand that physical appearance says very little about who you are, or your worth is not dependent on your physical appearances. Also, that assessment of the body is separate from your self esteem. And ideal body weight is the weight that allows us to feel free in our bodies, that makes us feel strong and energetic in our bodies, and that lets us lead a healthy and happy life, and not the ones where we start feeling inferior, or not that encourages us to look a certain way and feel a certain way. So that's about positive body image. Let's talk about why it is important to have a positive body image. So, having a healthy body image is important because it affects your self esteem and your self acceptance. And these two together determine your attitude towards your life, your interactions with others, the social interactions, your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, the food you eat, the exercise, your flexibility, your energy and vitality, feelings of attractiveness and beauty, the trust and respect for your bodies and that of others, and freedom of expression with your bodies. It's so, most of us find it so difficult when I work with a lot of youngsters, and that freedom of expression with their bodies. I love them. They can do amazing work given their phone, give them their laptops, and they are brilliant. But the moment you ask them to present, come out and talk, they kind of withdraw and get into a shell. So I'm currently working with an university where I work with students, where I train students in public speaking, and so it is a public speaking class, okay? But they are ready to do everything but speak publicly. They will talk. They are so confident when they talk to me one on one. They're so confident when they have to present, and but the moment I ask the step on the stage, they can't. And I know it's very difficult for most people to talk about it, but one of the major issues is comes from body image. So let's go forward. Now let's talk about what is negative body image. We've spoken enough of what positive body image. Let's talk a bit about what is negative body image. So any distorted distorted body image is called the negative body image, and it refers to an unrealistic view of how someone sees their body. So it also relates to how you feel about your body and what you think your body should look like to others. So you can see the image. So how do people with negative body image, how do they feel? Let's explore a bit of that. So people with negative body image, they are dissatisfied with their physical appearance. They believe that their appearance is being scrutinized and constantly evaluated by other people, and they kind of place a lot of emphasis on physical appearance, and in the way they evaluate themselves. So there is a lot of feeling of shame and embarrassment. And also, one of the common conditions, I have many students and also adults, young adults, come to me for is BDD, which is body dysmorphic disorder. What that means is that's a condition which involves obsessive focus on perceived flaw in appearance. What that means is, they have this perceived way of beauty. This is the way they need to look a certain way. Okay, you will find them constantly examining their appearance in the mirror, constantly comparing their appearances with that of others. And if they don't feel confident, they avoid social situation, they avoid photos. You see most of the youth, like the adolescents, when they have the body, especially during the puberty period, they will not, they hate to be visible in any photos. They I mean, every parent can connect to me. I have two teenagers at home. They don't like to be seen in any photographs. They don't like to see themselves in photographs. Okay, so and then these things lead to anxiety, depression, muscle dysmorphia, which is nothing but where it's also got pyrexia, which is over preoccupation with the perception or feeling that one's muscles are too small or too weak. Okay, and they spend unrealistic amount of time working out in the gym, and yet they don't feel good enough. Even though they have good fit bodies, they don't feel good enough in their bodies. So, and this also leads to various eating disorder. Talking about eating disorders, maybe I will bring your attention to some of the eating disorders that most of the youth experience. So just give me a moment. So, one of the eating disorder is called anorexia nervosa, which is, which is the most well-known eating disorder. It generally develops during adolescence or young adulthood, and it tends to affect more women than men. Okay, so people with anorexia generally view themselves as overweight, even if they are dangerously underweight. They'll still look at and they'll say, "Oh, I'm so overweight. I can see a bulge here. My cheeks, my this, my arms, this and that." They go on and on. So they tend to constantly monitor their weight. They avoid eating certain type of foods, and they severely restrict their calorie intake. So this is one of the eating disorder. The next one is bulimia nervosa, which is another well-known eating disorder. It is this, like anorexia, bulimia tends to develop during adolescence and early adulthood, and it appears to be less common among men than women. People with bulimia frequently eat unusually large amounts of food in a specific period of time. They binge eat, and they eat until they painfully feel full. Like keep eating, to soothe themselves. So they're trying to address something, the fact that they don't like themselves. They kind of comfort themselves by overeating, and these people, they can't stop eating, or they don't know, or they don't know where to stop, or they don't know how much they are eating. Okay, and the third type of eating disorder, we call it the binge eating disorder. Binge eating disorder is most prevalent form of eating disorder, and one of the most common chronic illness among adolescents. Okay, and it begins during adolescence and early adulthood, though it can develop any time in life. So individuals with this disorder have symptoms similar to those that of bulimia, or the binge eating. It's called the subtype of anorexia. Okay, so these are the few type of eating disorders that is commonly seen. So now, what are the factors that affect body image and self-esteem? So who affects, rather? So it's friends, family, media, so in media, it is the show, the print media, news, television, and culture. So so here is an image that talks about the factors that influence self-esteem. So, how do I know that I'm suffering from body image issues? So, how can we understand that one person is suffering from body image issues? So, you will see that people who suffer from body image issues, they often weigh themselves or measure themselves daily or more. They allow the number, the weight on the weighing scale to determine how they feel about themselves. They undereat when they're with other people, and they overeat when they are all by themselves. They restrict food intake all day, and they kind of binge eat over the weekends. You will see that these people have various, the closet full of clothes in different sizes, where they have clothing to hide their fat. Like, I'm a person who has huge arms. I don't fit into the standard size, so I have huge arms and huge legs. So for me, I always buy clothing. Like I said, I still struggle sometimes, so I'd like to wear clothes that kind of does not expose my bulges. So most of us struggle. So we shop or buy clothes which kind of help us mask our body image issues that we are having. So, and also feeling guilty and ashamed when you eat anything other than diet food. You're constantly talking about diet and healthy eating and what you should do, talking about exercise. You're constantly talking about thin fat, all these stuff, and you will be in different groups that where they're talking about diet food, fitness, and all of that. And you will always find yourself constantly critical of your body or specific body parts. Okay, and you will catch yourself waiting to be thinner before starting any new activity. It's like, oh, I will start going to the gym when I lose that extra few kilo, because people will observe, like, even to go to gym, you want to look a certain way. Before you kind of get onto that dating app, you want to look a certain way. Before finding a job or enrolling into a certain group or a course, you want to look a certain way. So you keep postponing, or you don't do things that you want to do unless you feel that you look a certain way. Any questions this far?
None in the form. Any,
None in
any,
the form?
no.
Okay, so shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, where did my PPT go? Sorry. So, body image issues is a common problem in a society that promotes unrealistic body ideals. How else do one feel? So, it's challenging to not get caught up in comparing oneself to these unrealistic standards. Many individuals experience depression, anxiety, anger, and even self-loathing. Okay, self-loathing is criticizing themselves. So let's talk about why is the healthy body image important. So people with a positive body image are likely to have a good physical and mental health. So boys and girls, men and women with negative thoughts and feelings about their bodies are more likely to develop a certain mental health condition, like we discussed, eating disorders or anxiety issues, mood disorders, depression. They can have behavioral disorders. So many, I get to meet so many people who come to me with various experiences, but when we explore, it all leads to negative body image. So that is the kind of influence body image has. So how do eating and body image go together? So eating disorders are internal conflicts about food and the body's size and shape. So many people, if they are food becomes a comfort factor. So when things don't go well in life, you're angry, you binge. You're sad, you need to eat. So my daughter has this, whenever she feels sad, mama, pizza. She needs to eat a pizza to feel good. Okay, I have this. Whenever I feel sad, I need to, need something, something sweet to kind of feel better about myself. So we all figure out something. So food becomes a comfort factor, and if it is so, you need to kind of identify and work around these things. So healthy eating behaviors are associated with feeling confident about your body shape and size. Okay, so disordered eating behaviors are associated with preoccupation with appearance and attempt to change body size through a focus on diets. So the skin I am in, I found this on the net, and I found it very beautiful, and hence I put this here. So let's talk about how body image affects mental health. And here's a poem. And I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. It took a long breath and replied, I've been waiting my whole life for this. So it's time we made a friendship with our own bodies. It's time that we kind of understood how, our body image affects our overall well-being. So let's talk a bit about self-esteem and body image. So what is self-esteem? Self-esteem is a person's overall sense of self-worth or personal value. In short, it's your opinion of your own self. So people with healthy self-esteem, they like themselves, they value their achievements. If things don't go well, something is not working well in their life, they will not get into unhealthy habits. Okay, they will figure out, what can I do to support myself. So the self-image, you can see self-image is nothing but the way we view ourselves. It sets the limit for our growth. Nobody can grow bigger than what you see yourself as. You have to believe you are a success before you can achieve it. This reminds me, and this brings to my attention about what my kid would tell. Okay, so when we look at our older pictures, my teenager always tell, "Mama, I see an empowered mama, and I see, like, when you gave birth to me, you weren't like this." And I would wonder what it is. No, I've been the same. And he's like, "No, mama, it is different." So when I looked at the pictures, I clearly see that I'm visibly different. There is something very different. And when I explored, I can clearly make the difference out is it is because way back then, because I had put on a lot of weight, I was very, very uncomfortable in my own body. I didn't feel good in my body, and because of which every picture, though I'm smiling, it doesn't feel the same as I'm smiling. It's the same smile, maybe it's the same person, I look just the same, nothing about me has changed, but that very comfort in my own skin, that difference visibly you can see in all my pictures. And that year I realized what my kid meant when you say empowered mama. So the empowered mama that I am, that he calls, is one who has learned to be comfortable in her own skin. Okay, so it's a very beautiful feeling, or it's a very empowering state to be in, when you feel comfortable in who you are. At this point, do you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. There's a question that has come up in
Okay.
the query form.
Uh-huh.
Responding to people body shaming us always is very difficult to tackle. It's very bad how small things like your pimple, shape of nose, etc., affect you a lot. I always wanted to talk back to them, but never had the courage. How do you think I should respond?
It's more than to respond to the people. What I would want you to ask yourself is, what about it made you feel the way you feel? So you felt bad. I mean, of course it's not fair that people pass such comments. It's about the meanings you attached when people make a comment about your skin type, or you have so much, they will say. So first we need to differentiate between what is in our control and what is not in our control. So I'd like to bring to your attention the serenity prayer. This is my go to. I love it. Okay, I tell this to everyone, and you can use this prayer in every space. It goes like this: God, give me the serenity to accept things that I cannot change, to change things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two. So here it's not about the first two lines, but I want to bring your attention to the second part, the wisdom to know the difference between the two. That is what is in your control and what is not in your control. If you're going to chase and work around and fight with things that is beyond you, you're always going to be disappointed. People are going to make comments on you. So what is in your control? You are the only person you have who you have access to. The only person in your reach is your own self. Everybody else is beyond you. Okay, so first, the situation that we encounter every day is beyond us, but how we respond to those situations is in our control. So take control of that. So when people make comment, don't attach meanings to you. Rather, if you want to make any changes about it, do it because you feel the need. If it is good for your health, or you feel that you know. This will help me in certain way, then do it. Don't operate from a space of threat. Don't operate for validation, because you are not going to get. And even if you get, look at me, I got enough validation, it didn't matter. I still felt uncomfortable in my own skin. I had enough friends, I had enough loved ones, everybody who appreciated me for who I am. I must tell you this. So, my smile, I get a lot of people say that I have a good smile, and I know I do. I feed on it. But then I was so ashamed. In any, like my kid used to tell, the empowered mama, I show my teeth and smile. I have these gaps. I'll show you my teeth. Okay, so I have these gaps between my teeth, and for a good part of my life, I believe that that is not beautiful. Okay, that it makes a person look. What is the other word? Not beautiful. Okay, so I would smile. So I would smile no matter what. I would not show my teeth, and my cousins would tell me, please smile, show your teeth. You look so beautiful. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm not comfortable. The only thing that has changed now is I don't care. I just smile. I smile for my tummy. I smile just like that because I feel beautiful. I mean, it doesn't matter, it just does not matter. But because I attach meaning to it, back then it did matter. So that's exactly what I want to tell you. So many things is not in a control. Focus on what is in your control. If you and getting pimples and all that could be because of the age that you are, and if it is due to a health condition, if you're not very comfortable, meet a skin doctor and see what you can do. But do not expect people to not make comments. They are going to make comments. It is to say that when people make comments, how you're not going to let it affect you. So there are so many things that people, there is a story about this Buddhas, where somebody is very angry at him. He shouting at Buddha, and his disciples ask, "How can you not be angry?" Then he'll say that Buddha says that just because when somebody gives you a present and you don't accept it, who does the present belong to? So it belongs to you only when you accept it. So the negative remarks that people make, the negative comments that people make, it becomes yours only when you accept it. That's what I want to hold your attention to. As long as you are not going to take any of the things, as long as you're not going to attach any meaning to this, you are still going to feel okay. Go ahead and work around it. If you feel you need to meet a skin doctor, go ahead and consult a doctor and work around that. But do not internalize it. Do not attach meanings to it. Okay, so that's what it is. So where were we? We were talking about self-image, I guess, right? Any other questions, Shrila?
No, ma'am.
No?
Only one as of now.
Okay, so self-talk is what? Self-talk is nothing but the kind of conversations that we have with ourselves. How do we talk to ourselves? There is positive self-talk, there is negative self-talk. So I have something here that I've put. I had to grow to love my body. I did not have a good self-image at first. Finally, it occurred to me that I'm either going to love me or hate me, and I choose to love myself. Then then everything kind of sprung from there. Things that I thought weren't attractive suddenly became sexy. Confidence makes you sexy. So that is what it is about. So learn to talk to yourself with respect, with love, with affection. Practice self acceptance, practice self love. Right. So body image and mental health and self-esteem. So that you can see the image on my screen. When you have a negative body image, your narrator will be like, I don't like the way I look. I wish I looked more like these other people. There's something wrong with me. And your self-esteem will be like, I don't think I look good enough. Other people are better than me. I should be able to do these things. There must be something wrong with me that I can't do these things, or I don't have more friends. And how does it affect your mental health? So you start believing that nothing ever works out for you. You are not capable of handling problems. You are a failure. You are not perfect. You're a complete disaster. Just a moment, my battery is running low. Oh, I thought I plugged my laptop. Just okay. So I don't think I'm good enough. Other people are better, and all of that. And how it affects your mental health is that you don't take time to care for yourself. You're overwhelmed. You indulge in overthinking. You will start experiencing anxiety. It could lead to depression and various other mental health conditions or disorders. Okay, so but when you have a positive body image, you feel comfortable with the way you look. You tune into your, to your body. You know that looks is not everything, and your worth is not dependent on your body image. So your self-esteem will be like, I feel confident and capable, and you place realistic expectations on yourself, you respect yourself, and your mental health will be in a good state, and you make time to take care of yourself. When you're dealing with difficult situation, feelings or situation, you seek help if you're not able to deal with it. Otherwise, you learn to problem solve. You learn to handle disappointments and difficult feelings, and you do not attach any meanings of self-worth to these feelings when you feel low. Okay, and you understand that things may not be 100% perfect all the time, but then that is perfectly okay. So this is what unhealthy body image. You feel ashamed and self-conscious about your body. You feel uncomfortable and awkward in your body. Think your body is disgusting and it's not good enough. You think that you look too fat, or too thin. You think that you aren't pretty or handsome. You fixate on changing something about your body. So how can you improve your body image? Celebrate your natural sizes. So enjoy the diversity of our body shapes, our skin color, the way we look, the way we present. It is easy to say don't judge a book by the cover. Most people do, but it can start with you. If you don't like it, don't build it. Yeah, I mean, you stop doing it. Okay, so become informed and recognize and challenge myths and misperceptions about your body image. Challenge weight prejudice. Challenge the media. Boycott the diet industry. Unfollow the groups that you are in. About this diet, strict diet, the way you need to look, all of that. Okay, educate others and yourself around the issues of weight prejudice, and surround yourself with a range of realistic body images, not unrealistic, perfect body images that we see. I mean, even in social media, we put up this perfect pictures. But that's what social media is about. You put up only good things. That is not real. I remember, because I create content on social media. One day, with the bestest of intent, one of my friends or acquaintance, I can say, came up to me and said, hey, you need to kind of upskill your wardrobe. Not upskill, you kind of like need to increase your wardrobe. I see you with the same pictures, because you're on social media, you need to you need to be seen in different clothes every single time. And I'm like, I practice minimalism. I'm so okay if somebody is going to judge. This is who I am. This is how I want to be. And it's okay. Irrespective, I put up content there for the work that I do because I love it. Okay. It is not for people to perceive me in certain way. And I don't care. I'm perfectly comfortable with being judged. So that is the kind of place that we need to reach, where we are completely comfortable with who we are. Positive affirmations will help. Learning to love yourself is a process. It takes time to truly love the skin you are in, the body type you are in. Practice that. If you do not know how to do it, reach out for help. How to have healthier body image? Just know that you have to learn to accept your body. Nobody is perfect. Don't body shame yourself. Build better habits. Like your body. Find things to like about your looks. Focus on what your body can do. Be aware of your body. Take care of your body. Eat healthy foods. Get good sleep. Be active every day. Keep to a healthy weight. Yes, so that's about it. And if you need help with body image and self esteem, if you're experiencing, please reach out. Sometimes body image or self esteem problems are too much to handle alone. Health issues, depression, or trauma can affect how you feel about yourself. Some of the experiences that you've experienced during your growing up years can become traumatic, and trauma kind of influences your behaviors every single day. So become aware of it. Eating disorders can cause a poor body image. That isn't true. Talk to a parent, talk to your friends, talk to your doctor, talk to your teacher, or talk to a therapist about what you're going through. Ask for help. Body image and self-esteem can get better with help and care. And last but not the least, join support groups. So I run a lot of these support groups, for the youth and for various age groups. So I call it the listening circle, where we come together and we talk. It's a controlled group, but then it's amazing how people facing similar issues, we come together and we experience, we share our journeys, we talk about ourselves, and we kind of support each other and empower each other through these groups. Is there any other question that just come up?
Yes,
Otherwise, I
ma'am.
have a very interesting story that I have to tell
Ma'am, sorry.
everyone.
Okay. Yeah, you tell the story because there's one more question that has come in. So first you finish
Okay.
the story and then we will get to the question.
Okay, so this is, I love telling stories. Okay, so I'm going to tell a story about a penguin. Okay, so um, that will kind of summarize the whole thing that we've been talking about. So there was this penguin who was very upset that he could not fly. Okay, and this made him very upset that he decided to travel the world, until he learned to fly. So the penguin starts on this amazing journey, and he meets all kind of this incredible creatures on the way. He asks help from every sort of flying creature, from the mightiest eagle to the tiniest insect, but none could train him to fly. So when he realized that no one could train him to fly, he kind of went into a depression, and he wept bitter tears. And one such day, when he was sitting there crying, he sees a snake resting in the warm sun on a nearby rock. So he had spent his entire time talking to different flying creatures who could not support him, and he had never seen a snake before. So as he watched, the snake kind of uncurled itself, and okay, and to his amazement, he saw that the snake had no legs. So he looked keenly and he said, "Bro, I have never seen a creature like you. What are you?" Now the snake looks back at him, and as he says, like, "I have never met a creature like you either. What are you?" So the penguin says, I'm a penguin and I've traveled across the world to learn how to fly, and I have failed. Saying this, the penguin starts to cry again bitterly, and the snake, is like, I'm sorry that you were so miserable, but just tell me, but why do you want to learn to fly? So penguin says, like, I am a bird. I'm a bird and all other birds can fly, so I want to fly too. Now the snake was puzzled. And the snake says, I still don't understand. I'm a reptile and all the other reptiles have legs, but snakes don't. And I have never thought of spending my life, trying to get legs from other reptiles. Now, this suddenly the penguin's crying reduced, and he thought about what the snake had said. Then he suddenly thought about his friends and family and the fact that he had been away from all of them for so many years. And he suddenly realized how he had spent time, how he had wasted time being unhappy and, searching or trying to figure out how to fly. And he missed out the joy of all his loved ones. And he realized that the snake was right. So he was like, thank you, my friend. And he gave a big smile to the snake and he says that you showed me light. Now the snake was even more confused, and the snake asked, puzzled, the snake asked, hey, bro, but I never taught you how to fly. So penguin says, even better, he exclaimed, and he said, you taught me how and why not to fly. Now, seeing the puzzled look on his new friend's face, the penguin kind of explained to the snake that all these years I've been thinking of myself as a bird first instead of a penguin. And if I could fly like all the other birds, I couldn't be a penguin anymore. And then I would never be able to see my family and friends or my home ever again. The penguin thanked the snake and hurried home to make up for all the time that he had wasted. And now the snake kind of curls up again in the sun and he thought, if I had legs, I could walk like that penguin, but he didn't. Instead, he slept in the sun and dreamt of flying. So, through this story, I want to tell you all that we are all unique. We are all special in our own way. So, you just don't have to try to be somebody else. So think about what a remarkable, unduplicatable, and miraculous thing it is to be you. And of all the people who have come and gone on this earth since the beginning of the time, not one of them is like you. Isn't it amazing when we, like, each of us, what is the kind of population of the world? We maybe around, any guesses? I'm sure nobody's talking, so I will say it's about, I think, 7.8 billion or so. So each, just look at it, just try and understand that how every single, that's like a huge number beyond our imagination, but every single person has a different thumb imprint. What does that mean? It means we were meant to be different. We were not meant to be like other people. Okay, so think about it, that no one kind of, laughs like the way you do. They don't sneeze the way you do. They don't grow hair the way do you do. Maybe they don't pray exactly the same about the same concerns as you do. No one is loved by the same combination of people that love you. No one before, no one to come. You are absolutely unique, and embrace that uniqueness, enjoy that uniqueness. You do not have to pretend in order to seem like someone else, because you weren't meant to be like someone else. You do not have to lie to conceal those parts of you that you do not like, to be seen in a certain way. Just remember and understand that you were meant to be different. You were meant to be you, just the way you are. Okay, so and I strongly believe this, and that kind of makes me feel very beautiful. I believe that if I did not exist, there will be a hole in the creation. There is going to be a gap in the history. Something is going to be missing from the plan of humankind, so I treasure my uniqueness. I treasure myself. So I say that to all of you: treasure your uniqueness. It's a gift given only to you. Enjoy it, share it. No one can reach out to others in the same way that you can. So just kind of embrace yourself in all aspects, share your uniqueness, let it be free to flow. Just the gift of yourself was given to you so that you can enjoy and share. So give yourself away, see it, receive it, let it tickle you, let it inform you, nudge you, inspire you, and believe that you are unique. So that's the message that I want to give you. That is the beauty. That is that is something that I want you all to take away from this session.
Ma'am,
What
there's
is
a
the question
question.
I have?
Okay, so the question is, what if a 10-year-old child says, I'm not good looking, I cannot dance because I am obese, and I don't want to have dinner? I wonder how this young child receives the information from environment. As a society, we have to be very mindful while putting any statement on children. How to help that young child?
So it is very important that as society we are mindful about it. So how can we help children? So something, this obesophobia it is called. So where do children pick this from? They pick from the environment. They pick from the parents. As parents, it is on us. As teachers, it's on us. As young adults, as adolescents, it's all on us. How the children kind of like, maybe we'll do an activity. Okay, so. Some of you, if you want to participate, we have just the last 5 minutes into the session, so it's a game that I want to play with you all. Anybody quickly want to switch on your cameras? No? Okay, so I will play it with Shrila. Okay, so Shrila, so touch your head. Just follow my instruction. Okay, I want you to do just as I say. So touch your head, touch your eyes, touch your nose, touch your ears, touch your head, touch your chin.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Thank you, Bharti. I see Bharti also is touching her cheek. So is it that we don't understand where our cheek is? Sorry, where our chin is? We do. We all know, but we follow. That is what we do. We bang. We don't, we take in what we see. So if you want to change, if you want to support, please model it for them. There is no two ways, no other way of doing it. There is just one way of doing it, by modeling it. Okay, so there is something that I want to tell all of you. It's our collective responsibility to educate, to support, to strengthen people in all bodies and liberate them from eating disorders, body based oppression, and the dangers of diet culture that we have, the anti fatness, etc. So what we need to understand, that everybody has access to and can embrace healing and embodied living, and beauty is not based on a set of socio-political appearances, on certain ideals, but rather beauty is an outward expression of your inner connectedness and radical self-love. And let's not only accept, let's practice not only to accept and respect the diverse spectrum of bodies, but let's celebrate the different spectrum of bodies. Acceptance, safety, well-being, and sense of worthiness are accessible to all, and it's not dependent upon possessing certain identities, certain traits. So the onus is always on each of us. Let's be accountable and responsible, and together create a safe world, a safe space for people in all bodies to show up authentically and vulnerably with one another. So let's own our bodies. Let's make room for all others as well, with the understanding that the media will continue to prioritize, glorify, and interpret perfect bodies. That's their job. That's their work. Let them do it. Okay, so let's all show up as our whole messy selves, where there is no expectation to abandon our personal selves at the door, no matter what the place, no matter what the situation, no matter what the conversations. Let's kind of honor the unique gifts, the limitations and experiences of self and each other, that we can actually show up authentically in every space and community. So let's all together create waves of change change by honoring the fact that change is inevitable. We grow, our bodies grow, we change, so does our bodies, our shapes change. So let's intentionally, with a lot of thoughtfulness, choose to prioritize and trust our bodies through this change, so that we don't lead to a state of burnout or constant overwhelm. So let's reject the notion that perfect is better. So to for this, the key to everything is self love. Self love is the root or